Hello, welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. It's another bright and, I say bright day, it's pretty dull and cloudy outside. Anyway, enough of that, let's get a job. So they're all long jobs, I've already moaned enough about that. I can't be asked to read them. Let's do that one. Salum Kiram. That's not a terrible colour. It's interesting. Strange noise from the engine bay, general running gear control and repair, sloppy steering, brake system, general gearbox. Lots of issues. Well, first of all, let's see if it will go into the path testing place. Usually stuff doesn't. Oh, there we go. It's that ironic nonsense that if it's slightly too broken, you can't test to find out how broken it is. You know. So, roll it forward. Wait for the command and press the brakes. And we roll it forward. Do the same again. Notice how that we start appearing on the mirror at the end of the room. More spooky ghostness on the mirrors. Jiggle jiggle. It's the jiggle test. How much do you need a toilet? Quite a bit all of a sudden. Good. And then of course we have to put the car on its side to get it back through the door. It's a little bit strange. There we go. But we skipped that bit because it would be too much fun to watch. Wow, okay, we found out lots of stuff. All the suspension-y bits and the brakes. And now we'll go through the relatively pointless escapade of doing the tests. Doesn't have an ODB port. Let's inflate the engine, see where the gas escapes. It's holding a fairly constant 13 bar, which means nothing. And the electricity test. This is where we plug the car into the mains and see where the shorts occur. Oh dear, just have a vision of someone walking in their pair of skimpy shorts. Good, so that's all those tests done. Shall now ignore that and move the car to a lifter. Right, so let's see what, if anything, we have discovered from our list. Should have had a few things, so no, that's possibly a fan or a timing issue. Okay, this is all the suspension-y bits. Suspension-y bits again, probably. Brake system we have to just go around and look at, and the gearbox we'll have to bury into. Right, so thinking of the gearbox, thinking in advance. Let's push all the wrong buttons. There we go. Gearbox. I need to start the motor off the gearbox whilst thinking about it. Right, there it is. Buried under that. Alright, and just out of interest, does this brake servo need removing? 48% yes. Fan's okay. This timing stuff looks knackered though. Oh yes, what's the thing? 47%. So anything 47% or under has to be replaced. That was close. 50%. I can't take off the timing cover yet. Small bits that are indistinguishable from the timing itself. So 56%, 50%, 48%. What was our limit again? 47. So there was none of those. I've already tested the alternator effectively by doing the electric test. Alright, so it might be something actually in the engine, which is a bit more worrying. I'm not going to bury myself too far in here, just in case it's not something in here. The top end looks all okay. Small brake issues here. I thought if they had the other brake thing, the servo, they wouldn't need these, but obviously they do different jobs. I haven't got a flipping clue. Alright, so we're still not closer to the engine issue. Yeah, so we'll probably have to go deeper into the engine. Well, we'll leave that for now. Let's do the suspension and braking stuff. Know where we are with that. so that's a suspension problem. Look at that, it's out on 13%. So, caliper, pads and disc are all dead on there. Oh, that sway bar looks nasty. Let's get that off. Just handy, so let's have a look at this shock absorber as well. Can I just examine it? Oh, I already know. 48%. So that's okay. Oh, I'll talk about noise in here. It might be this, look, this radiator cooling system. Can we examine that? It can be examined by taking it off the car. Ah. Handy. 50%, that's fine. Stick it back on. By the way, it slides in really easily. Just like in real life. Take the bonnet or the bumper off sometimes to get the radiators of cars, of course. Alright, its caliper doesn't look terrible, but that usually still means it's bad. Yes, it is. The pads look awful. The disc is okay. Suspension, not so good. We're taking off this, and this, and this when we can get to it. That wants to come off as well. That's okay, I think. Alright, round the back. Round the back. Okay, these brakes all look dead. So there's the caliper, that's at 26%. These both look knackered. Oh yeah. Rear drive thingy doesn't look great. Let's take that off. 29%. This looks pretty dead. 5%. Wow, this looks awful. 9%. Alright, classy. Oh yeah, leaf spring looks a bit knackered as well. We'll have that off. Okay, something to do when the car is up in the air, waving its feet like it just don't care. Of course, we've taken its feet off, but it's a car, so it doesn't actually matter. Alright, that's all dead. Get all that off. That's all okay. That looks a bit nasty. Alright, so it's time to pop it in the air. It's another leaf spring issue this side. All this whole leaf spring unit, the U-bolts and everything look nasty. 4%, crikey. 1%, wow, that was just waiting for an accident to occur. Alright, that's all that taken off, and then down the front there was quite a few suspension issues. Let's drag ourselves down the front if we can. Alright, good. Take off this suspension arm. Steering rack. Oh, we've still got the thing on the other side. Ah, it's the tie rods. For some reason I thought it was connected to the suspension. Oh, it's a steering rack, not the drive, of course. It's rear wheel drive. I hadn't even noticed. Right, let's see how much we've got. So we've still not discovered the engine noise issue. We've got almost all that stuff. Almost all those, all that, and we haven't looked at the gearbox yet. So let's look at the gearbox. We'll have to remove the... oh, where am I? Come on. We have to remove the drive shaft. Oh, there we go. And there we go. So what else are the suspension he's taking off? That looked okay. 53%, yeah, that's fine. So it could have been some of these springs and things that don't look terrible. Condition wise, yeah, that doesn't test the springs, which is interesting. What? Why can't I remove the... What is going on? Okay. So the spring is at 49%, and that is okay. I have to say this side looked the same, but you know. Quick test. 54, that's fine. Okay, so let's have a bit more look down the front. Of course, it might be a bushing or something that's hard to spot. Ah, sway bar looks knackered. Let's have that off. And double check the spring on this side. It surprises me that you can't take the spring. You have to take this off before the spring. You kind of assume the spring would have to come off first. Oh, that's all okay. Two more parts to discover. Okay, checking out the rubber bushings. Why can't I not? Oh, I'm in assemble mode. That catches me out quite frequently. It looks alright, let's just double check. 52%, yes, that's fine. There you go. Whoops. All the wrong buttons. That possibly looks a bit dead. No, it's fine. Rubber bushing. That's fine. I'll check the springs on this side, I've already forgotten. That's a bit close. 15. Ugh, right, that's one of them. So one more part to find for that. Got all those now. All those. Not looked at the gearbox yet. Alright. I'm slightly surprised there's still a suspension item I've not discovered. I say slightly surprised because, you know. It's not that. Let's check the wheel hub on the other side. Zoom out, you stupid game. Oh, this looks promising. Yeah, was that it? What's this in here? Front wheel hub. What do I have to take off to get that off? Oh, nothing. Oh, it's the thing underneath, look. Alright. So, that's all of those. All of those, all of those. So we just need to find out that, which is probably deep in the engine, no my luck, and the gearbox. Thingamajiggamum. So the gearbox, that's relatively straightforward. We've disengaged the drive shaftles, so we can have at it now. You never know, it might help us, because we can see into the engine slightly from here, I think, can we? Oh no, of course we can't, no. So, it needs a new pressure plate, or whatever this thing is. I forget which one's which. Yes, that's the pressure plate and the clutch plate. And everything else is fine. Alright. We need to bury ourselves in the engine. Well, we might as well replace the gearbox whilst we're here, I think. Gearbox. So we wanted, what did we want? I've forgotten. A clutch plate and a pressure plate. Clutch plate and a pressure plate. Yes. I suppose I should remember to start trying to fix things as well, actually. In fact, let's just go and do that now. Let's go and have a poke at the fixie table. Okay. You managed to repair the part. Cool. Alright, so as long as it gets over the 48%, presumably, we can use it in the car, I guess. I hadn't really tried doing this before, so... That didn't work. That worked. That didn't work. That worked. Worked. It's mainly working. I suppose it should be. It's on 80% or whatever it is. These are over 50%, so I don't need to fix those, I don't think. This is the first time I'll have used reconditioned parts on the vehicle, and also now it means it's slightly more frustrating to work out what I do and don't need. Yeah, well, saves money, but it's frustrating. Oh, I want to be at the other end of the car. There we go. So, we bought new bits for these anyway, so let's pop those on. Oh, I suppose there's a faint possibility I'd have to get something underneath the clutch plate. Right, that's on now. Why can't I put the drive shaft on? Any particular reason? Is it because the game is annoying sometimes? So I'm in assemble mode. Let's go back into assemble mode. Nope, still can't do it. Stupid game. I like the way it does that as well, where you can see something and then you let go of the movement and it settles so that you can't see it anymore. Alright, getting irritable. Okay, it's time to put the car down, have a look at the engine. Grumble butter, there's a thing I can't find. Grumble butter. How much the engine will have to remove to find it. That's the constant joy of being a engineer. Let's just double check the problem. It's strange noises, so I really don't think it's going to be the air filter, but as it's such an easy fix and doesn't require me removing the engine in entiris. Is that a word? It's like, makes it sound like I know Latin. Yeah, take the top off now please, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Did I already know the condition of this? No. But I can tell by looking at it that it's fine. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, well it was a bit of a long shot to be fair, so yeah, whatever. It's just frustrating if you take the engine apart and you find out that, you know, oh, did you not change the filter? Should have done that first. Right, throttle, I can't take that off, I'm in assemble mode. Right, take the throttle off. Is it that? 57% no. Was it the fuel rail? No. Was it whatever the hell this is with its billion bolts? No. So if we want to look under here we have to take off all the crankshaft caps. Oh, actually it might be a spark plug or something, mightn't it? I'm not feeling very quick today. %. So let's take out the sparkles. 57, 49, 56, 52. Now what was our limit? 47. So it won't be any of those. That's good, yeah. Alright, so continuing. A continuation. There we go. Let's take off the manifold if I want to take the head off, of course. Of course, you say. Of course. Right, okay. And, oh no, take off the ignition doodad. Keep an eye on the percentage scores as they pop up in the bottom right corner as you take bits off, because it's very easy to miss the bit that you needed to take off. 51%. Now these all look okay. They usually go black when they're knackered. In fact, and we know they're all yellow already. Ah, okay. I was wondering if it might have been better to come in from the underneath of the engine, and it might well have still been the case. Unless it's something else obviously causing the engine noise problem. Like the fuel filter, for instance. No, it wasn't that. Let's put that back in whilst I remember it. Right. Power steering pump, is that making some horrible noises? Is that a thing? No. What about you? Oh, that's part of the engine block. I thought it was like the alternator or something. I've already taken that off. Set the oil filter. Accessible from underneath the car. Awesome. I'm going to put the gearbox back on. Alright, well I guess it's time to take off the oil pan and all that shiz. In fact, the oil pan itself looks a bit knackered. That'd be annoying. Right, let's go and find our oil buddy. He's sitting in his own little pile of rainbow coloured liquid. That looks about right. I can't see the drain from the side. That's irritating. Oh dear. What's this? Goes right under this flipping pipe. Oh, that'll do. That will do. It's hardly worth $100 to worry about it too much. Alright. Now move the oil buddy out of the way. Okay. I did just take an oil pan off the other day to see if it was exciting, but no, it just says $100 charge. It's a bit weak. Oh, I didn't notice, was the oil pan the problem? No. No, it's unlikely to be fair. Right, so we've got a few. Oh, there we go. That's the bit. That looks like the culprit. What's that strange noise? Was that external in the game? Some weird stuff going on in my street. Crankshaft bearing cap. So that's everything. Finally, we have found the problem. Okay, well, before we do that, actually, let's go and see if we can reparate it. Mr. Crankshaft bearing cap. Yes, we can. Right, awesome. Don't quit yet. Let's go put it back in. Hopefully that counts as job done. Or not dud, rather, but job did. So, let's see. Alright, double checking. Yes, that counts as a tick. Awesome. So we didn't have to pay any money for that. So I wonder if the job works, because it seems to operate on a you spent this much money, you get this much money back. So hopefully it doesn't only work like that. I mean, it'd be irritating if, for instance... Oh, I need a new one of those. What was I talking about? Yeah, if you didn't spend any money fixing it, if it didn't award you any money for completing it, I mean, I'm sure that isn't the case. It's the kind of weirdness that should have been discovered by other people by now. If it was the first half an hour of it being played by anybody in the world, then maybe. So I've got this problem in that some of the parts I have are in my inventory that I've fixed. This is a bit frustrating. It'd be nice if on the purchasing screen it showed you how many you had in stock already. That would be really useful. Super useful. Never mind, let's go putting the engine back on and see what is required. Maybe just have to buy things piecemeal as I need them. Well, spanky new alternator that I've refurbished for him. I don't know if it costs anything to refurbish. We didn't mention the costs, but it would go against the grain of the idea of the game is the repairing stuff is the cheap option, but who knows? Oops. Ooh, 48% is right on the cusp. Alright, timing belt cover, idle roller, or belt tensioner, whatever it's called. Timing cover, nice and shiny and new, or refurbished. Yeah, alright, it's going together. Like Tramalama Ding Dong. Easily forgettable fuel rail. Oh, sparkles as well. I gotta put them back in. Needs that sparkle. Right, and then the ignition coil, and then the ignition wires. Go back on. Brake servo, it's nice and shiny again. throttle. Abs pump, need new one of them. Seems to be most of the engine back together. Oh, just a little bit more nonsense at the front. No tensionings required. Alright, so that's the main part of the engine put back together again. So we need an ABS pump. Just out of interest, do we have the other thing? No, we need both of those. So brakes, abs pump, and abs module. Not necessarily in that order, apparently. Get me back in the engine, come on. There we go. And the ABS module. Let's bolt all that shenanigans back into place. Okay. Alright, start working on the corners again. So we need various parts in here. Spring, we need a new spring. Front spring. Alright, shock absorber. Oh, 48, that's just good enough. That, however, is not. Front shock absorber cap. Right, what else do we need? We need an inner tie rod, can't fix that. Outer tie rod's good enough. Oh, don't forget to screw it on. Brake disc, brake pads, just... Wow, did I recondition the brake pads? Seems unlikely, doesn't it? But not everything's back on. Okay, we've forgotten something out of the wheel hubcap thingamajiggaman. More, apparently. There's more. Come here, there's more. Why can't I put the wheel back on? What have I failed to do? Oh, there's a sway bar link. Sway bar and link needs replacing. Sway. Was it an A or a B? It's an A or a B? It's an A. Now we can put the wheel on. That's nice. Lets you know you've put everything on in the corners. I say everything. I mean, there might still be bushings or what have you. Still, that's most of it. That's the main thing. And around the other side. Let's do the same again. So, what do we need to add? Need another inner tie rod. I can't find out about the other things at the same time. Yeah, it might be cheaper, but it's a slightly more irritating way of doing it. I'd rather buy it all and know I had it all in place. Outer tie rod. Oh, it's gone past it. Oh, there we go. Looks strange seeing it's a large. Okay, front wheel hub, that got repaired. And the hubcap. And the brake system. Oh, that's no fucking good. Take that off. So we need a brake disc ventilated. Nope. And that doesn't look like we did refurbish the pads, so it's probably just one set that was still any good. So 1, 2, 3. Caliper though, nice and shone up. Oh, there we go. Lower suspension arm, can't put that in yet. So, okay, a little bit of waiting to do there. Right, and there's a big hole here. Rear axle driving knuckle C. Was that what it said? Yeah, that's what it says there. Rear axle knuckle housing C. Rear axle knuckle housing C. Rear axle knuckle housing C. Alright. Solid drive axle. Screw that in. Rear shock absorber B. Leaf springs a go-go, yeah. Right, brake disc, a couple of them. Brake disc, brake pads, brake caliper. Alright. Put the wheel on, yes. Okay. Getting there. Alright, so we've got rubber bushing, rubber bushing. And a brake disc, non-ventilated. Brake disc, non-ventilated. Pads, freshly refurbished. Oh. Brand new brake caliper. Oh dear. And a shiny, if not quite brown wheel. Shiny and brown. Alright, so that means we've still got a wheel somewhere. Not put this wheel back on? Oh no, we need some suspension put in. Extra suspension fixings. Right, yes. Suspension fixings. So, a new lower suspension arm. Lower suspension arm. Yep. Hopefully it comes with the new rubber bushings. Oh yeah, then we've got our sway bar. Sway bar front end link A. Sway. Front bar end link A. Bolty. Ah, yeah, now we've got a wheel on. Alright. Good. He said, slowly, because he wasn't quite sure if that was actually good. It comes with its own rubber bushing. Okay, rear suspension had various things to do still. Leaf spring plates. Oh, that got refurbished nicely. What about the U-bolts? No, so I need at least 3 of them. Leaf spring U-bolt. Alright, leaf spring U-bolt 1, bolty. Leaf spring 2, bolty. And then on the other side of the car, we need leaf spring plate. And U-bolt A. Oh, I thought I needed 3. I thought one of these was okay. That told me. Alright, that's those done. What else am I missing? Let's have a look at the list. Strange noises tick, all of those ticked, all of these ticked, everything's ticked. That generally means I've only forgotten 1 or 2 things. So, let's see. So I spent only I spent quite a bit on this, even though I refurbished quite a lot. No oil in engine. Oh, seriously? Such a petty reason not to want to drive your car out of my thing and give me all my monies. Oil plug. Let's do the old oil trick. Gloop, 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 doodly doo doo doo. A little bit more. That's that. And then you double check your awesomeness with the dipstick. Awesome. And then you see if he'll take the car now. He will. Awesome. Woo. Etc. And now we've got 28 grand. It might be worth visiting the auction house. I shall maybe do that next time. But for now, that was the end. I can hope you've enjoyed it, but seriously, what's going to happen? Wow, look at the shine. The cleaner really gets the shine on these. But with that special elusive reflection, that means you can't see anything that's moving about in the shop, like cars or me. And with that really interesting note, bye!